My parents ignored me every Christmas until I purchased a Manor. Can you imagine being so utterly, completely forgotten by your own family that you eventually just stopped trying? I mean, what if the ultimate revenge wasn't just walking away, but making them crash and burn right on your doorstep, caught in their own web of lies? Because let me tell you, that's exactly what happened to me. My name is Claire Lopez. I'm 35, and for most of my life, I felt like a ghost haunting my own family. I'd become a statistician of my own misery, meticulously calculating the probability of parental affection with the same cold, analytical detachment I used in my job at high-end risk and compliance. In my profession, we deal in the currency of liability and exposure. We tell massive corporations which corners they can cut without the whole structure collapsing. It requires a certain numbness and ability to look at potential disaster and just see paperwork. It was a skill set I'd unknowingly been honing since I was 7 years old. That was the first year my parents, Graham and Marilyn, forgot to set a place for me at the Christmas dinner table. They called it an accident. A frantic mother, a distracted father, and my younger brother Derek, the golden child who demanded every ounce of oxygen in the room. I still remember sitting on the stairs, clutching a plastic reindeer, watching them feast and laugh. When they finally noticed me an hour later, the excuse was flimsy. "We thought you were napping. You're so quiet, we just lost track." I accepted it. I was 7, and their approval was my only currency. But the accidents kept happening. They became a tradition as reliable as the tree or the stockings. I was forgotten when they booked plane tickets for a family vacation to Aspen when I was 16. Forgotten when they planned a graduation dinner for Derek, but somehow missed my own ceremony 2 years prior. The forgetting wasn't a lapse in memory. It was a weapon. A silent, brutal way of telling me exactly where I stood in the Caldwell family hierarchy. I was the safety net, the one they called when Derek crashed his car and needed bail. Or when Graham needed a signature on a loan because his credit was leveraged to the hilt. Oh, they remembered me perfectly when they needed something. It was only when it came time to give love or space, or even a simple meal, that my existence became hazy to them. Last year, though, that was the breaking point. The night the numbness finally hardened into something sharp, something useful. I'd driven 4 hours through a blinding sleet storm to get to their house in Connecticut. It was December 24th. I hadn't been invited, but I hadn't been uninvited either. That was the gray area where we lived. I assumed like a fool that family was the default setting. I pulled my sedan into the driveway, my trunk filled with gifts I'd spent 2 months' salary on. The house glowed with that warm amber light you see in greeting cards. I could see silhouettes moving inside, hear music. My coat was heavy with freezing rain when I walked to the front door. I looked through the side pane. They were all there. Full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.